And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the latter half of January 2024, the second half of January 2024 already. My name is Jason Parent, and I'm the CEO of Aroostook County Action Program. We're so pleased to have you on this program with us. We're going to be discussing on this program, the tax season is right upon us, and we're going to talk with members of the Aroostook Cash Coalition about the free tax preparation program, the volunteer income tax assistance preparation program that will be starting in Aroostook County in February. It's time to make your appointments now for those of you who qualify for the program. And we're going to hear all about what those qualifications are, how you can schedule your appointments, and what's new this season. We're also going to talk with the sponsor of the program about why it's important to them to be a part of this particular program and how it helps Aroostook County residents from one end to the other. But before we do all of that and get into that feature interview, we're first going to get into the news and information that you can use again for the first half of January 2024. And we begin in the news and information you can use with this. We wanted to share with our community that housing navigation services are available for folks. This is not only for individuals who are experiencing homelessness, but for any individual who's at risk of potentially experiencing homelessness or having difficulty either obtaining or retaining housing. So in this work that the navigators provide, they work at developing a housing stability plan. So again, if you're unstably housed, this is one of the areas where they can help hopefully make it so that you don't become in a more precarious situation. They'll also look at how you might need to acquire any documentation and help you acquire that documentation for becoming housed or for continuing to be housed, or for changing your housing status. They'll help you refer to other community resources, including those here in the agency, and do a number of other things. Now, they can work with existing tenants on rights and responsibilities, so you do not need to not be in a housing situation, but you can also rely on folks for that and to help avoid eviction before it happens. And helping overcome any tenancy challenges. Now, the navigators, our housing navigation team, works in the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, which is on the second floor of the old Key Bank building at 480 Main Street in Presque Isle, now the Vision Care of Maine building. They will be in that facility for a little bit longer. Through the end of March, and then be moving to the new Norman Fournier place out at 1 Edgemont Drive. But if you want to reach out to us, send us an email, info@acap-me.org or 764-3721 extension 7. Again, housing navigation services, we encourage you to take advantage of those if you are finding yourself in a position where you need assistance retaining or gaining housing. We are also sharing with you, this is from our HR and our early care and education teams, that as a result of some new legislation passed by the Maine state legislature, there's now an up to $625 early childhood educator stipend or supplemental payment that's available that goes directly to early childhood education providers. Here at ACAP, we have a number of position openings that do qualify for that supplemental payment. Those include the teacher associate, teacher bachelor, ed techs, and teacher aides. It depends on the level of the position as well as the educational attainment and also ability to connect with other professional development opportunities. So you have the opportunity to increase in some cases what the stipend or supplemental payment will be. We do encourage folks interested in joining our team. This is a great addition to the baseline salary. In addition to that, I want to remind folks out there that as an additional incentive, ACAP is offering a no cost to employee for healthcare for employee only under one of our plans, or discounted cost of participation in the others. So please do give us a call here at ACAP. And if you choose not to take the health insurance plan because you have it alternatively, then there's a $200 additional stipend monthly as it relates to that. So please do consider giving us a call or completing an application online. The Cinderella Project of Maine returns to Aroostook County. It's coming on the third floor of the old Key Bank building that I just spoke about. That's the 480 Main Street building in downtown Presque Isle, the Vision Care of Maine building. It will be happening on Thursday, February 8th, 9th, 10th, 22nd, and the 23rd. We're hoping to get a little bit ahead of last year so that we can help young ladies and some gentlemen. We have a limited number of clothing, more dressy clothing for gentlemen considering going to the prom. What we're really trying to do here in partnership with our sister community action agency, Waldo Community Action Partnership, is to avoid young ladies and gentlemen not going to the prom because of a financial hardship. We want to make that rite of passage, if you will, possible for all young adults heading into the prom season. It's also available for folks looking for a pageant dress who might not otherwise be able to afford that as pageant season comes to Aroostook County as well. Now, join the Drug-Free Aroostook Coalition. The Drug-Free Aroostook Coalition meets on the 1 p.m. on the third Friday of every month via Teams, so you don't have to come to a specific location. You can do it from where you are. This is a group of community leaders involved with various backgrounds, including just community members who are interested in ensuring that preventative measures are taken to help our children, our youth here in Aroostook County avoid usage of drugs, of substance use. It works also to empower and engage youth in communities toward working on community change and offering youth and parent education and training. There's a number of things happening here, and we are certainly looking for more members of the community to join the Drug-Free Aroostook Coalition. You can reach out to Mallory Holmquist here at ACAP at mholmquist@acap-me.org. Give us a call at 764-3721, extension 151, and Mallory can connect you with the work of the Drug-Free Aroostook Coalition. Now, Head Start has openings available across Aroostook County as well. These are program opportunities for 3- and 4-year-olds and a comprehensive developmental preschool program that is really cutting edge and helps to ensure the preschool or kindergarten readiness, I should say, for youth in our community. It's for largely income eligible children, but it also includes children with disabilities and other factors, household factors. So if you have a 3- or 4-year-old, and you're not quite sure if you make the income qualification guidelines, don't just necessarily discount yourself. Give us a call here at ACAP at 764-3721, extension 224 or 224, I should say. Or you can complete an application directly on the early care and education page of our ACAP website. It's a great program and engages not only the children, but families as well, including the opportunity to have a family coach working with your family to help everybody in the household advance economically and socially. Now, the main care program is continuing to enroll children across the state, and it's now become easier to enroll kids across the state. They, of course, offer high quality, free health insurance for children under the age of 21 in eligible households. Now more families qualify because a family of 4 can be earning up to cumulatively $90,000 per year and could still possibly be eligible for coverage. We're encouraging folks to go to maincare.gov/kids for more information. The Home Energy Assistance Program is in the height of taking applications right now as we continue to help individuals across Aroostook County who are income eligible heat their homes. The income eligibility guidelines are right there on your screen for different household size based upon month. Now note they are based upon month, so if your household has had a recent setback or for whatever reason, the income has been adjusted even for just 1 month, we encourage you to apply in the month following that because they will just look back at that 1 month before in terms of income eligibility. So if you've had a difficult, challenging month or your income is not what it has been and it meets these income thresholds for just that most recent month, we encourage you to call us and get an application started. It usually takes about 2 to 8 weeks after the interview has happened to finalize and to certify the file. So it isn't a quick process. We also have an emergency crisis intervention program for those households in emergency. But this is really a sustaining benefit that folks are eligible for year after year, and we encourage folks to use the Home Energy Assistance Program if they think they're eligible. No shame in that game whatsoever, folks. It is available, especially for seniors who have worked their entire lives and obviously are living on a fixed income right now. This is a great way to ensure that you can put the food on the table that you need and the prescription drugs or whatever else it is that you need so that heating is less of a burden for you. Please do give us a call. The direct line for HEAP is 768-3053, or you can email us at energy@acap-me.org. We are continuing to remind pregnant and expecting women of childbearing age out there that we have free prenatal and prenatal vitamins available for you through the Vitamin Angel program. Our WIC program is administering these, but certainly you can get them through other folks here at ACAP. We encourage you to give us a call if you are a woman of childbearing age and are considering thinking of or possibly maybe even be pregnant at 764-3721 or info@acap-me via email for more information on the Vitamin Angels program. Again, this is free prenatal vitamins for women of childbearing age. We also want to remind folks about the FCC, Federal Communications Affordable Connectivity Program. ACAP does offer assistance and navigation for folks looking to access high-speed internet and to be able to get discounts and have part of the cost defrayed for connecting with high-speed internet, including the potential opportunity to have a discount on devices that would help you get connected to the internet. So if you want more information on the program, give us a call here at ACAP. Navigators can help, again, get you signed up for this program so that we can start to get that internet benefit discount available for you. Getinternet.gov is the federal site directly, but again, you can call us here at 764-3721 to get information and help navigating the site and getting the benefit through this program. And lastly, if I've not talked about something here and you are in need of some kind of a resource or challenged in some way right now, please do consider giving us a call. We have navigators that do this work each and every day and know what resources are available, not only within our agency, but with other community partner organizations and even government resources. And they are helping people every day apply for and connect with those programs and services. Our telephone number here to connect with a navigator, as is with all programs, is 764-3721. If you're in the St. John Valley or Holton, call that number. We will certainly connect you with somebody in your local ACAP location that can help you closer to home. But again, do not hesitate to reach out and to connect with us if you need assistance in any way, shape, or form. Our navigators are here just for that. And as I mentioned at the top of our broadcast, we are pleased to have with us on this week's program of ACAP Today 3 guests who are part of the Aroostook Cash Coalition and are working on the upcoming tax assistance program for income-eligible Aroostook County residents this year. So I'm pleased to welcome ACAP's own Kim Garrett-Michaud, who's coordinating the program for the agency on behalf of the agency. Suzanne Seneschal-Gendreau, who's not only an ACAP board member, but with New Ventures Maine, that is the sort of parent organization, if you will, for the Cash Coalition across the state of Maine. We're going to catch up with her and find out what the new things are happening, not only here in Aroostook County, but across the state program. And then Carrie Watson-Blaisdell, who's with us from the County Federal Credit Union, who's the sponsor for this work and is engaging community members across Aroostook County who will be receiving free tax preparation services in how they can be more financially secure on the other side of a potential tax return. So with that, ladies, thank you all for joining me and welcome to this broadcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, Kim, I'm going to begin actually with Suzanne before we get into the ACAP specifics and sort of get our grounding with you, Suzanne, on where things stand with this year's tax assistance program across the state of Maine and what is new and exciting with the cash coalitions across the state.
Sure. Well, as you know, we have several coalitions across Maine who do this work and provide free tax preparation to filers, as well as this, coaching in terms of some financial assistance to customers who want that and need that to help their money go further. So, most of our coalitions are in a bit of transition right now. Aroostook is no different in terms of having some changes have taken place across the state. We're still in that post-COVID mode of figuring things out, in person versus, remote tax filing, that kind of thing. And each region is sort of developing their own plan in terms of how to make that happen.
Now, I know, Suzanne, in that we sort of always talk about and lead with the tax assistance component of the program. And of course, the requisite there is that, people need to have their taxes filed. In some cases, though, there's an incentive, even if you're not required to have your taxes filed. But if you would sort of tell us about the reason why the Cash Coalition and the work of the Cash Coalition goes beyond just tax filing and tax preparation.
Right. Well, CASH stands for Creating Assets, Savings, and Hope. So, we understand that the filers that come to us are getting their taxes done at no cost, which is saving them money. But we hope to take that the next step in terms of what are some other things that you might be able to do or services you might be able to access, resources that will help whatever finances you have coming into your household go even further. So that's where our opportunity guides come, into the equation in terms of meeting with filers once their taxes have been prepared, sitting down with them and sort of allowing them to ask questions about resources that may exist in our county, that we also have conversations about saving, and if you have a savings goal, how can we help you achieve that? Questions about banking services they may have to, become banked if they're not already banked. And one of the big things we do, and that's why ACAP is such a helpful partner in filling those opportunity guide roles, is there may be services that they're not aware of that they can access. And again, that will help if they have limited income, which these filers typically do. That may help their money go further because they have access to a resource that they didn't know about or didn't think they were eligible for and may be eligible for now.
And Kim, I know Kim Garrett-Michel, that's a very critical and important part of ACAP's role and has kind of historically been with the Aroostook Cash Coalition and engaging with our sponsors, County Federal Credit Union, on the financial literacy side and any bank and financial services products that are needed as it relates to that. But sort of talk to us, let's go sort of to the higher level here and talk about what the program looks like and what it will look like in Aroostook County this year and what it looks like in terms of getting off to a really strong start.
So this year we're really excited. We have our tax preparers. About 50% of our preparers are experienced, and some come to us with as much as 12 years experience in preparing taxes for Cash Coalition and for Aroostook County. And so we're going to take advantage of the experience and help build our team. The other 50% are coming in new to taxes, but not new to helping in the community. There's going to be some familiar faces to people. It's a really strong team this year, and they all have to be certified. They've been going through a testing process and a studying process. Those certifications have been done. And so this group is ready to hit the ground running. We will be operating 3 days a week in our Presque Isle location at 771 Main Street, right by Walmart, from 9 to 4. It is by appointment only at this moment. So we'll release those phone numbers of where to call and how to get those appointments. We do anticipate being able to serve 1,000 people, 1,000 households this year. So I've got to tell you, I didn't think I would ever say I'm excited for tax season. I didn't think I would ever say those words, but I'm excited for tax season. It's going to be wonderful.
So in addition to some of the new faces, new time slots, a relatively new location, I know that things were moved to 771 Main Street in Presque Isle last year, partway through the season. I want to touch base with Carrie Watson Blaisdell because one of the constants in this program in the past several years has been the involvement and the partnership with the County Federal Credit Union. And Carrie, I sort of want to get an understanding and appreciation from you why this is so important to the entire team at County Federal Credit Union that you're a partner on this program.
We've partnered on this program, like you said, for many years, and the whole team's really passionate about it because it really stems from, our mission of improving the financial lives of our membership. But whether you're a member or not, this supports the county in a way that has been talked about before. It needs to be done. The resources that they're made aware of when they go to these sessions are really important. I volunteered last year and got to see it firsthand. The amount of people who just lit up finding out about resources they desperately needed. It was a great touch point, and we really, really want to be part of that because it's hard to meet everyone where they're at. And so a session like this that they come to and they know they need the help, and then just having those conversations about what do you need to thrive are really important, and we're thrilled to be part of that.
Suzanne, I know that this is a critical part of New Ventures Maine and your work and your mission. And it really ties in. We've talked about the resources, you shared about the resources, but oftentimes it's helping folks, especially those folks who are getting a return. And in some cases, looking at their overall income, those returns can sometimes be sizable. And with everything the way that it is right now, higher costs on things, a key part of that, and I know New Ventures Maine is really great into this work, is managing that money and managing that return. And we can talk more with Carrie about, opportunities and avenues for how you can save some of that money. But what is that component of it look like? We understand the resource connection. What does the sort of managing the cash component of that look like?
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple of things. One is opening up conversation around money. It can be a really difficult conversation to have, and we provide the opportunity in a very non-threatening, safe environment to say, how are things going financially? Do you need additional help that you're not getting? Are there some things we could do to help you manage your finances, help you, deal with any credit issues you may have, or pay down some debt that you want to pay down? Or, is one of your goals to start saving for your education, your child's education? We have programs to help with that. And also, I'm excited that New Ventures Maine will be offering an in-person money management series following tax season this year. We've been doing mostly online service provision, and we're going to offer that class here in Central Aroostook County so that folks who need that personal connection and don't do as well in an online learning environment will have an opportunity to be with other people that are experiencing those same kind of challenges, to open up conversation, develop a spending plan, talk about how to manage debt, all of those things that most of us have at some point in our lives, or maybe even are currently experiencing some challenge around, especially as you said, because the cost of living is higher, inflation is a real thing that people are having to deal with and manage, and so their typical budget looks different, and they're struggling with how to make ends meet, and we can help with that.
Suzanne, one of the things that we've seen, I think, in more recent years as it relates to some of the tax filing appointments are some folks were filing state only for a period of time, as there was sort of the state COVID payments that were going out. And I noticed that continued last year. Is that something we're encouraging again this year for folks?
I think we're encouraging people to do both a federal and a state return. There are some advantages to doing that. But for those people who, and as Kim, or you maybe mentioned, Kim, or you mentioned that we're doing all of our tax provision in Central Aroostook this year, all in person. Again, we're in that transition mode of trying to figure out how to serve the most people in Aroostook County that we can serve. So people are welcome to come to Presque Isle to get their taxes done. But in some cases that may not be possible. We recognize that. We're listening to, to folks about that. We're hoping to change that in the future. But this year you have to come to Presque Isle to get your taxes done in terms of using the Cash Coalition to do that. But there are online resources that people can use, like irs.gov. They have a guided tax preparation, system there, and maine.gov has a Maine fast file. If you are just doing a statewide, return, you can go there. It's a very simple return. I know that some people are very, can be quite, reticent to do that. They're afraid that they're going to do it incorrectly, but I know those of us who have done state returns, Jason, Kim, myself, it's a very simple process. If you're only going to do a state return, to do that yourself right at maine.gov. But having said all of that, for those who come to the tax site, we are encouraging both a state and federal tax return to make sure we're capturing everything that we can so that people get the most out of the refund that they can get, and should any programs come into existence that they can benefit from that are dependent upon their tax return, that they'll be able to access that as well. And parents who are sending their children to school, the FAFSA application is directly tied to completing taxes now. So just encouraging people to take advantage of the fact that we can help you do that at no cost.
Suzanne, that was an extremely nice way of saying that, you know, if I can do it, it's foolproof. Anybody can do it. And the three of you have the street creds to be able to say that, because all three of you have either worked with me closely or currently are working with me. So in that case, Suzanne, absolutely correct. Great parallel to draw there, that the tax online filing program is not that complicated.
Yeah, I put myself in that as well, Jason. I mean,
You know it, Suzanne. I actually, you know, I think I did it with a degree of difficulty when I was doing them up in Madawaska with customers in French. That was a good time.
oh, there you go.
That actually, I think it made it easier for me to do it in French. Not surprising to Carrie Watts in Blaisdell, because she'd said work in French all the time. So Kim, I want to get back to you in all seriousness though, and talk about we talked about some of the changes this year, but let's talk about some of the logistics. As of the date of the airing of this program, we should be taking appointments. How can people do that? What else do people need to know?
So, yes, we'll start taking appointments on January 16th, which I believe this is when we'll air. So today, you can make appointments today. You can call any of the ACAP offices, and they can help set up the appointments. It is all in the Presque Isle location, but any of the locations can help set that appointment up for you. We are setting up our appointments. Currently, the appointments will take about an hour. As we move into the season a little further, we shorten the appointment time because of the speed of our volunteers. And so you would just, to set up the appointment, you just need to call, work with the reception team to pick a date and a time. They will ask you a few quick questions. One of the things that will be asked is if you have filed your taxes with or had your taxes prepared by the Aroostook Cash Coalition in the past. That helps us just speed along the process a little bit. The information that you will need to bring on tax day, you will need to bring all your tax forms, any W-2s, any of your 1099s, 1098s, any type of verification of income, expenses, let's see, your social security number, or either a social security card or on prior tax information, and also a photo ID. So you'll need to bring that information with you. When you arrive on location, there is a form that needs to be filled out. You fill that out. We do have some people there to help you fill out that information to get down through. There's, you know, there's a lot of questions, yes, no's, and some unsures. We have people there to help sort that through. And then you'll sit with a tax preparer. Once your taxes have been prepared, then they're going to give you the opportunity to sit with an opportunity guide, the ones that Suzanne had discussed, to see about any additional resources, talk about maybe the ramifications of a refund and money coming in. And so there's kind of a lot in the day, but there's so much there and available and valuable all in that 1 hour. It could be a very beneficial hour to help people get connected to those resources and get their taxes done.
Yeah, I just want to go back. I don't want to belabor the point and speak about this for much longer, but I know it was a difficult decision to just centralize all appointments this year, but we have, you know, we want to make sure that we're providing a quality service at this point. You did mention you have a great mix of volunteers and some really seasoned people who have been wonderful for the program through many years, and some great new energy folks who have joined us this year. It really is in part, in addition to the administration of the program and the newness of some of the things that we're facing this year, it really is in part because of where volunteers are coming from as well. So we certainly are not saying it's not going to ever go back to Fort Kenner Holton. We'd like to get it back there, but part of that is looking at if we really would appreciate volunteers stepping forward in those communities, correct?
Right. It's certainly our goal to go back into those communities, to go north and to go south. And volunteers from those local communities is really crucial to the program. If volunteers are spending time traveling to those locations, it takes time away from tax preparation. So to have the volunteers already there and established is really it's huge, it's big. And I know that there's some wonderful, experienced people in those communities ready to help. So we're going to call this a building year, like a basketball team. This is our building year.
We can also annex Walmart as our waiting room. So if you're coming north or south and you make a day trip of it and get a little shopping done or whatever the case may be, right? There's always
Right.
necessities.
And you certainly have Tim Hortons and a couple Dunkin' Donuts available too. So
Yeah. And
enjoy
then and then it's just a walk across the street to the County Federal Credit Union, right? Carrie Watson Blaisdell,
Yes, it
where
is.
as a perfect segue.
yeah.
Not that this is about a sales thing for County Federal Credit Union at all, but there are services and products and assistance that County Federal Credit Union provides that can be helpful to somebody who's looking at a tax return. I think including just how you can save your money and where you can safekeep it.
Yes, and I was told by Kim a very startling statistic today that nationwide, nearly 6 million households are unbanked. They have no repository for their finances, and that to me is appalling and very disturbing. Now in Aroostook County, I don't know that statistic, but it's I'm sure somewhat comparable, and it's not a lot to put your finances somewhere. $5 to have an account share. And one of the things a lot of folks need to keep in mind is the IRS, of course, everybody's going electronic with everything, right? Like that's just the ease of use. So your return will get to you faster if you've already got an account set up and have those numbers and ready to go. So it's actually something you should think about beforehand. But if you didn't, not a problem. We're more than happy to walk you through that. But once you open that proverbial door, to putting your finances somewhere, then lots of other resources open up to you. Credit unions, by and large, their mission is to keep, fees and rates low because they do not answer to stockholders. They answer to their members. All main credit unions operate that way. So in terms of how much you're getting bang for your buck, a credit union is an option to think about, just so you're not getting all those excessive fees and whatever, but you're still getting a lot of those products and services delivered to you the same way. So it's definitely something to think about. We've just, opened some rewards accounts. So just doing all the stuff you're going to do anyway, you're going to use your debit card for everything. I don't think I ever carry cash anymore. It's all the stuff we already do. I check my account obsessively on the app, all those things, instead of using a checkbook register like my mother used to. Doing things
Oh, I
that way.
know. Lovely lady.
Yeah. Who tried to teach me that trick very well, but it just didn't sink in. But managing it in an app is far more up my alley. And so all those things, can lead to rewards. And so those are the kinds of products and services wherever people go that they really need to look into. What am I paying for fees? How can I really maximize this return that I have that I can use? Maybe I want to pay down debt and that's great, but maybe I can use a nest egg, or maybe I have trouble saving. That would be me. So I have to open a Christmas club to make sure, because I can't take it out once it goes in, but I can just put a little bit in at a time and make sure that it's there when I need it. Or fixing an old farmhouse, because isn't that probably most people with a house in Aroostook County? It always needs something. No home is ever complete. So maybe you want to save for that new deck, or you're going to need a new water heater, or whatever the things are. There are products built to help you do that, so that it just becomes reflex and you learn to operate within this budget, and you've got your savings going over here. And we all need a little nudge, a little help, even those of us who work in financial services. So, there's no shame in asking for that guidance and that help. And, we're more than happy to sit down and be that financial sounding board. What are your goals? How can we help you get there? Benefits us, it benefits you. It's really a symbiotic relationship. So, yeah.
Suzanne, as Carrie's sharing that, it brings to mind another opportunity that folks have, income eligible folks have, in terms of a family development account. And I know I don't have, we support people with that here at ACAP. Kim's not the person who does that at ACAP, but I know New Ventures Maine is very involved in the Family Development Account Program. It's, I think, a good one to share on the heels of what Carrie just mentioned in terms of a tremendous match savings program. Can you talk about that?
Sure. For those who qualify, there's an application process with some income eligibility requirements. And for FDAs, you also have to have some earned income. But you can save up to $1,000 towards a specific financial goal and get that matched by $4,000. So currently, those goals include buying a car, repairing a car, buying a first home, home repairs, or emergency savings, which covers a lot of different things. So I think we have a lot of FDA accounts to fill. And that's information that we can give at the tax site as well if people are interested, or they can contact either ACAP or New Ventures Maine about that process. We both belong to the same coalition. And in addition to that, New Ventures Maine has a rainy day savings account program where people can save $400 and get a $400 match towards unexpected expenses. And for that program, you do not have to have earned income to qualify, and you don't have to have dependent children or a child as you do with an FDA. So that opens it up to people who are retired, who have disabilities, who are collecting, TANF, or, taking advantage of some other programs. They could still qualify for rainy day savings. So they're both really great programs to help people start their savings process or increase their savings and use that for, things that they need. The match is good for both programs.
Great, Suzanne. Thank you. I'm glad we brought that up because that's a great potential benefit of how to help invest any kind of return that you do get. Again, there has to be there are requirements for that program, but the guide, the coach will be working with you if you choose to go into the services after your tax appointment, can certainly brief you on those. Kim Garrett Michaud, I'm going to do sort of last round here, but before I do that, want to get the logistics from you again to remind folks how they can make an appointment, what they need to do, what's expected of them, and just send this home with last thoughts from the others after that.
Hey, so any ACAP office can help set up an appointment. The Presque Isle office, I think the number is actually right on the screen already, 207-764-3721. If you call, the reception team is ready to help set up an appointment. We are taking appointments through February 6th through April 4th. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 4, I think, are the appointments. And call, get your appointment set up. They'll give you kind of a checklist too of what you need to bring in: identification, your tax information, any prior tax information you have in hand, social security number. So, and then once you get here, we'll give you an hour of our undivided attention and get your taxes done, help you with some resources, and help you make those connections.
Awesome. Carrie Watson Blaisdell, any last parting thoughts from the folks at the County Federal Credit Union, or last things you wanted to share?
Just something to think about, that most Mainers, I believe it's over 75%, do not have in their savings the ability to handle a $1,000 unexpected expense, be that emergency or deductible for something that happened, whatever. So really utilizing your tax return in the best ways you can think of. Suzanne, those are wonderful resources. I really think everyone needs to look into to see if they qualify. But I know you've probably heard it since you were a child: save, save, save. But you really do. These are difficult times, I know, but really consider finding a way to save, and ways that can match or give you rewards, whatever it is that suits your lifestyle.
Yeah, a lot of the unfortunate timing is some still inflationary costs out there, especially for buying groceries and things, everyday needed things, and then the combination of a number of the pandemic era programs to provide additional heating systems or whatever, those have gone away, and it hasn't been compensated by costs being driven down and household expenses coming down. So good point, Carrie. Suzanne Seneschal-Gendro, your last thoughts on behalf of New Ventures Maine and the Rustic and Statewide Cash Coalition.
Yeah, well, I'll piggyback onto what Carrie was just saying. We actually asked the question at our tax sites across this state about whether or not people have $300 of savings put aside for unexpected expenses, and that number is very high in Maine, that most people do not. So we are concerned about that as well. We know that people get into some financial problems around, using credit to meet their needs, reaching out to not the best resources for borrowing money, because those are the ones they can qualify for. And it affects their credit long-term, which prevents them from getting loans or good interest loans, and all those kinds of things continue to exist for people. So we know that those are difficult issues, and we want to help people tackle those and develop a plan. If you don't have a plan, it can be very difficult to take action and move forward. And so we just encourage people to come and as Kim said, get their taxes done, but have some conversations about what you might be able to gather in terms of support around addressing some of those things. And that's really our goal across the state with this project, is to help people build assets. Whether those, assets are, which one of the best places to start is savings. I agree 100% with Carrie on that. But even beyond that, buy a home or, pursue some post-secondary education for themselves or their family members. All of those things that we know can help people feel more financially secure in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, Suzanne. One thing I don't remember if I heard yet that I think is important for people to understand. We talked about up until this point, folks who are eligible to participate in this program to get the free tax service. Do you have that number, Kim, in terms of what the eligibility guidelines are this year?
Yes, the income eligibility guidelines is 64,000, a maximum of 64,000.
To be eligible to receive the free tax prep.
Right. I do want to throw in one more little piece of information. The IRS did release information that indicated that 20% of the people eligible for the earned income tax credit did not take advantage of it. And I think you find that most people who are filing taxes themselves are missing that substantial credit. That credit can be $600 or up to $7,400. So it's a pretty big credit, and it's a refundable credit, which means money in your pocket. And so 20% of the people who are eligible did not file for it. So that's something that we want to make sure, if you are eligible and are entitled to a credit, we want to make sure you have it. And having your taxes filed with some trained professionals will get it there for you.
Well, and that's a good point, Kim, because some people don't file taxes because they don't feel they earned that much money, and they're not required to file taxes. But if you do not file a federal return, you cannot access earned income tax credit. And as you said, that's a big refund for a lot of folks. So you really need to file your taxes, even if you've made only a few $1,000s during the year.
Can't afford to leave that kind of money on the table these days, folks.
No.
Absolutely. So do give us a call, 764-37 I'm forgetting my own phone number, 3721. That number might be picked up anywhere in Aroostook County. So if you're in Holton or Fort Kent or Madawaska or wherever and don't remember your more local ACAP number, call that one, and might be somebody at your local ACAP office that answers the phone, because the receptionists are all networked together. So call where you can and get an appointment in between the 6th of February and the 4th of April, Kim?
4th of April, yes. Yep.
4th of April. Okay, got that date right. Thank you to my 3 guests. This has been a great conversation, and we look forward to helping many tax preparers across Aroostook County to help capture some additional income into their household, whether it's the earned income tax credit or return, whatever the case may be, and help you better manage that funds to stretch those ever elusive dollars these days. Before we leave all of you, though, we're going to first bring to you our highlight snapshot, I should say. And the highlight snapshot this week brings us to actually about a month ago. These are members of the ACAP leadership team that recently took throughout the month of December to the roads across Aroostook County to visit with all of our locations. To thank our employees and to wish them a happiest holiday season. This was as we were leaving our Fort Kent location, the last of our visits on December 22nd. Missing from this picture are our 2 directors of programs, Heidi Ratcliffe and Megan Barnes, who were traveling separately in another vehicle. But again, the reason why we bring you this picture of the week is because it's the one picture where we wanted to just express our appreciation again to all of our team members across Aroostook County, not only for all that they do, but for welcoming us to all of their locations and enjoying a little bit of holiday cheer with you before we headed into the holiday season this year. That's our snapshot, our highlight snapshot, and that's this week's edition, or this second half of January edition of ACAP Today. We'll be back in early February with a brand new edition. I believe we're going to be highlighting another one of Kim Garrett-Michaud's projects. That's the Cinderella Project. We'll be back with that next month. Have a great rest of your month, everyone.